Welcome to Faithfully Speaking, where faith finds a voice and God's truth changes lives. Because when we stop agreeing with the world and start agreeing with God, everything changes. I'm Mila and welcome back to Watch Your Mouth. In the first episode, we asked the question, what are you agreeing with? Today we're going to look at one area where many of us unknowingly agree with fear, frustration, and discouragement, our finances. So today's question is simple. What are you rehearsing? God's provision or your challenges? Gas prices goes up. The grocery bill gets bigger. There's an unexpected expense that shows up. And before we know it, we're saying things like, I'm never gonna get ahead. Every time I get ahead, something happens. I'm always struggling. There's never enough. Maybe you said those things before. I know I have it in the past. But today I want to challenge you to think about something. What if what you are repeatedly saying is revealing what you are repeatedly focusing on? We are all rehearsing things. We repeat conversations in our head. We replay disappointments. We replay fears. We replay worst case scenarios all the time. And when it comes to finances, many of us spend more time rehearsing our challenges than remembering God's provision. It's not about ignoring the reality. The bills are real. The expenses are real. The challenges are real too. But so is our God. You know, faith doesn't deny the challenge. Faith remembers the provider. Let me say this again. Faith remembers the provider. Philippians 4:19 says, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus." Notice what the verse doesn't say. It doesn't say you're always gonna get everything you want. It doesn't say life will be easy. It says God will supply your needs. That means even in difficult times, challenging moments, God will provide. God remains faithful. Sometimes we become experts at rehearsing what's going wrong. We can tell everyone about our finance struggles. We can list every obstacle. We can talk about every setback. But how often do we stop and remember God's faithfulness? How often do we remember the prayers He answered? The doors He did open, the ways He provided when we didn't know how things would work out. Fear rehearses shortages. Faith remembers provision. Listen to the difference. Challenge-focused words say, I'll never get ahead. There's never enough. I'm so terrible with money. Nothing's ever going to change. But faith-filled words say, this season is challenging, but God is faithful. I'm learning to be a better steward. God has brought me through difficult seasons before. I trust Him to guide me one step at a time. The first set of words focused only on the challenges. The other one acknowledges the challenge while remembering the provider. So let me ask you, when you talk about money, what are you rehearsing? Are you constantly rehearsing your challenges? Or are you also remembering God's provision? What story are your words telling? Because what you're rehearsing today is shaping what you believe tomorrow. So this week's challenge is, I want you to pay attention to how you talk about your finances, especially this week. Every time you catch yourself rehearsing a challenge, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, have I talked more about my challenges than I have thanked God for His provision? Then take a moment to remember. Remember a prayer He answered. Remember a need He met. Remember a time He made a way. Remember His faithfulness. Your challenges may be real, but so is our God's provision. Your circumstances may change, but God's character does not. Thank you so much for joining me for Faithfully Speaking today. If this message encouraged you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone that needs to hear it. Until next time, keep speaking truth, keep walking in faith, and keep faithfully speaking. Bye.